We'll move on to our next proclamation. 6.9, presentation of proclamation designating the week of May 4th through 10th, 2025 as Correctional Officers Week in Lake County. Vice Chair Rasmussen will be reading this proclamation. If you're here for the proclamation, please come up and join Vice Chair.
Well, before I read the proclamation, I just want to say the correctional staff in Lake County, they're a very critical and important part of our criminal justice system. It's a difficult job that's even become more difficult over the past 15 years with the criminal justice realignment that's happened in California. And, they've had to adjust how they operate, with the jails really becoming more essentially a state prison. And also, we just talked about mental health. That's also a big concern in our correctional facilities. And, I want to commend our Sheriff's Office correctional staff for increasing their partnerships with the Behavioral Health Department as well as other local organizations to effectively provide service to our folks that are in custody at the jail. Proclamation of the Board of Supervisors designated May 4th through 10th, 2025 as Correctional Officers Week in Lake County. Whereas the operation of correctional and detention facilities housing millions of prisoners and detainees throughout the nation represents a crucial component of our criminal justice system. And whereas no public servant has a more difficult or less publicly visible job than the men and women who ensure the safety, containment, and control of the human beings charged to their care, while sustaining uncompromised regard for their dignity and constitutional rights. And whereas correctional personnel must remain consistently vigilant in terms of their own safety, as well as protecting inmates from the violence of other prisoners, and at time from inflicting harm on themselves. And whereas correctional personnel are charged with protecting the rights of the public and safeguarding the public from the criminal suspects in their custody, while at the same time encouraging such prisoners to develop skills and attitudes that can help them become productive members of our society after their release. And whereas correctional personnel work under demanding circumstances and face danger in their daily work lives, often sacrificing personal and family time to provide a necessary but often thankless and unrecognized service to the public. Now therefore be it proclaimed that the County of Lake Board of Supervisors designates the week of May 4th through 10th, 2025 as Correctional Officers Week in Lake County, and encourages all citizens of Lake County to join in recognizing the contributions and sacrifices of all of our custody staff in maintaining safety and security of our correction and detention facilities. Passed and adopted this 6th day of May, 2025, and signed by our Chair, E.J. Crandall. Thank you.
Good morning. Under Sheriff Corey Polich. I'm filling in for Sheriff Bingham. He's out of the area in a meeting. I want to thank the board for this proclamation and giving us the opportunity to recognize our correctional deputies and what they do every day. I had the opportunity about a year and a half ago to be assigned as the jail commander, and in my 30-year career, that was my first exposure to the correction side of things, and it's a different world. The jail is much like a city with all the problems a city might have. And I was very impressed with what our deputies were able to do in keeping over 200 people who were in our custody safe from each other, from themselves, and also being able to provide life-saving care. We have things happen in the jail where our deputies have to respond, and we're able to do that. So the work that goes on out there is amazing, and we really appreciate our deputies. And I'd just like to say that we appreciate their hard work, their dedication and commitment to their job and the profession and to our community. So thank you again.
Thank you, Undersheriff. And I appreciate that this is a standalone proclamation because the correction staff really does deserve this. This is a city, like you mentioned, and it's managed with compassion and dignity and for public safety for all of us. So thank you to all of you that are there. And now that you're there, Gavin, too. But again, thanks for bringing this today and that it's a standalone so that we can give them this recognition that they deserve.
Yeah. Did you want to go? Okay. Yeah. I'll go last.
I appreciate it when you understand the details of what happens inside a jail. We have the added issue of incompetent to stand trial. Those are not simple individuals to have to deal with. We've changed our entire jail process where now it's kind of a mini prison in the sense that you stay longer than a year. It used to not be that way, at least maybe 2 decades ago. And now we're also seeing like 70 to 80% of your population is pre-trial where they're in and out before you can really understand how who they are as individuals and get comfortable with how you're dealing with them. And so it's a completely different situation for you guys. I appreciate the ability to pivot and deal with it. I know it's complicated. I sit in for the jail medical conversations. That is complicated. The right thing is to take care of them. We are putting them into our jail cells, into our confinement, and I think that we do a pretty damn good job of it. So I appreciate all the work that happens. It's a 24-hour a day, 365-day job, and thank you.
Yes, so many moving parts when you have to work in there. I had a friend of mine in the Army. He switched from RMOS 13 Bravo to go work at Fort Leavenworth as a correctional officer. And I was worried for him. But I see all of all of the folks that work in your department. I know that, like Supervisor Sabatier said, it's heightened with the folks that are in there. Pre-trial, I think, was the word. I remember, go back 20, 30 years, some of those inmates used to go out and like trim the trees and ravines in different areas to clear brush, and we're not able to do a lot of that anymore. And so it's just all day in, day out, straight there, and a lot of other folks that probably would be in are let out. And so it makes both sides of the job hard, right? And so just again appreciate all the work that you all do running the everyday operations as well. So glad we're honoring you all this week. Mm-hmm. Anyone from the public?
No hands.
No hands in Zoom. All right, let's take a picture, Sam.